You said that that there's not much dated in the show, but we were not joking. We were just talking earlier with Creed, first of all, where he was telling about a deleted scene you guys were in where Jan was talking about the natural birth and it was like Omaha Beach or whatever. And he's like, that stuff we'd never get away with today. And we recently talked about the line where Michael was like, when I was a kid, gay meant lame or whatever he said. And like now it means homosexual. Do you think that there are, how many lines do you think there are that wouldn't play today?
Well, I have a standard answer for this because I think it's quintessential The Office. I think it's the shot is Steve Carell, which by the way, this he came up with that made us laugh in the room. Early on, he takes his chair and he turns it around. One of the chairs in the conference room. We're in the conference room. He turns it around, right? So he's straddling the back of the chair and he's leaning on the back of the chair and he's getting really intimate. He leans into Oscar and he says, Oscar, what's a term that's less offensive than Mexican?
Classic. It's the one line.
And Oscar, it's one of my favorites. And Oscar says that Mexican is not offensive, Michael. I'm paraphrasing all this, by the way, but
right.
and he goes, yeah, but what's something that's less offensive, right? You can't say that, right? You can't say that today. But think about the sum total of that scene. You have someone based on their physicality who is really trying to do good, right? But he can't. He's not capable. He's misguided in a weird way, and he just doesn't. But he's trying to be better, and he's just saying a thing that, by the way, would be said by people. But the sum total is every other person in that room is going, that is a horrible thing to say, by their facial expression, by their groan, whatever it is. So the sum total of that scene is, you are not allowed to say that, right? And I think so often we need black and white. We need, you can't say that. Well, why not? If what you're saying by the sum total of the scene is the opposite.
Right.
Is that we're saying
you're condemning that idea. Yeah.
Yes. And it's about this character who, by the way, is not saying, any sort of horrible thing that I'm not going to say here for a soundbite. But you know what I mean? He's trying, and that doesn't make him okay. But we're also not making a joke. The joke is not on the subject matter. The joke is on him and his inability to get it right, to get it woke, to get it whatever. And so for me, I don't understand. I also don't think that if you have a show that whatever just sold to the Peacock for $550 million or whatever it is, someone's going to make the show. So I don't know. It's very complicated, especially during this time. It's incredibly complicated to know what is right and what is wrong. And do you not say that? But for me, what I look at in anything is the sum total, right? It's the whole stereotype, like if you have a bad guy, the bad guy smokes, right? Because we're sending a subconscious message that he's smoking. But it's like, I just think the depth with which the characters were explored and the fact that everybody was kind of trying to get it right, even when they screwed up, I don't know, maybe makes it.
I totally agree. I think it holds up. We were talking about like Friday Night Lights. You can go back and watch Friday Night Lights, and there are lines where you're like, Jesus. But I think The Office has very, very few of those. I was actually surprised to hear Creed say, like, we couldn't have gotten away with that today. I was like, really?
I think you can both be right. I think what Brian's saying is right, but I bet you Creed's right too. I bet you they would say, yeah, listen, the joke is that it's a dummy boss who's screwing up and he is offensive, but we can't do it.
You can't say the words. And yeah, and by the way, I'm not even necessarily disagreeing with Creed. I think I'm questioning more
why.
I mean, the pendulum swings. It just does. And I think it's it's easier to say nothing, right? It's way easier to just say, no, you can't say that. You can't say that word, that idea, you can't express. But I don't know, maybe I'm a little more like Dave Chappelle in this idea that it becomes about the I'm not, by the way, that came off wrong. I'm not nearly as,
we're just a couple of comics together.
No, I'm not nearly the genius of Dave Chappelle, but I just mean maybe I lean more towards his thinking on some of these things, which is, when you say you're woke or super progressive, that means you're not. So I'm not going to say that. But I just feel like the sum total is what matters, not the specific words at times. But I do think there are things you can't say. I mean, like maybe Meredith making a joke about selling sex for meat. Like maybe that. Maybe not that.
The good old days, huh?
That's such a good joke, though, when she's like, have you ever had filet, honey?
I think it's on character. That one, I don't know.